So here we are on February 7th. Jerry just picked up his bike 2 days ago. It was freezing cold yesterday, so we couldn't ride. It's pretty chilly today, but beautiful. Beautiful blue sky.
Lovely day.
We are in Georgia after all.
Look at that. Yeah.
So I know it's really super early days, and we're going to do a full comparison test with the GSA and the older Multi. But just what are your initial impressions of it? What do you like? What are you not so keen about?
Of course, the engine is very nice. The seat is, I think, exceptional, even compared to the BMW, which I thought was great.
Wow.
There should be 1,000 miles in that seat easily. The electronics are nice. The TIF is nice. Split between that and the BMW on the TIF, but yeah, I think the Ducati TIF is a bit brighter. And the acceleration and the pull have not gone over 6,000 RPMs, of course, and is significantly better. And I'm sure it will be appreciated in the future.
I know at the launch that they remarked upon the engine being pretty smooth. How do you?
Yeah, very smooth. Very smooth, yeah.
And it's got slightly less torque than the GSA, or it makes the same torque at higher revs. Does it feel any less torquey, or is it just
no?
quick?
Once you get used to the gear, it's basically a movement in what you. If I was in 6th gear in the BMW, I'll be in 5th gear here. So a gear or two down the BMW.
So you just make the adjustment.
Yeah.
And what about the quick shifter?
Absolutely. Nice. Up and down. Unbelievable.
Because the quick shift of my GSA is a bit clunky, to be honest.
Clunky on the first, on the GS I would use the clutch, on the first, second gear. But this, today I said let's see how this does, and bam, smooth as silk.
And what about general things like the ergonomics, the levers and the mirrors and stuff?
Still getting used to that. Mirrors are nice. It's a shame they're charging $850 for the. The radar and all that, but what are you going to do? It's a good safety feature.
I hear great things at the launch about that screen. I know we did a little bit of freeway work.
The screen, BMW screen is, fairly large, and this one is. I said this is not the screen that people say, is good with the wind, but actually it's quite good. The right up here is where the wind goes, and just a little bit hitting on the shoulders, but nothing in front of you.
Right, and I personally really like the adjuster on it compared with the BMW.
I haven't tried that. I've tried it, in the garage, but not it.
Because it's just one finger, literally, isn't it? You don't even need to pinch your fingers together. You just pull it up.
Probably 7 or 8 adjustment points, but that's plenty.
And the BMW, you have to be stopped, and it's practically 2 hands to get it to turn, isn't it?
That's right.
So you just give up and leave it up all the time, don't you? But I think that would be nice because you can kind of have it high in the freeway, and you get off on the twisties, and you can just instantly knock it down. So I kind of like that. And certainly, I think it's a much better looking bike. Are you pleased with the way it looks?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's the GS looks great when you're riding it, but when you're looking at it,
not so much.
It leaves something to be desired. But this one definitely is a pretty bike.
Yeah. Well, I know it's not all roses because it's going to have a smaller tank range. The panniers
still scare me when I open them up. They open the mouth and try to bite me, and all my stuff falls out.
So there's a couple of things like that. Well, I think we'll probably cover that in a future test. Maybe when we do the group test, we'll maybe have a group Zoom and do a podcast kind of feedback or something on what we all think about the bikes.
Yeah, I'll take one.
Overall,
we'll take one.
Overall initial impressions, pretty pleased.
Totally. So far, it's getting better with every mile.
Cool.
And, I think I'll be going out Texas and New Mexico soon, so that'll be the real test, I think.
Yeah. Very early days, but glad to hear that because, like me, you're a bit of a self-confessed GS fanboy. So anything else is going to be different and challenging. But it sounds like initially you feel kind of 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, 2 thumbs up for sure. And I appreciate the opportunity BMW gave me to buy it with their brake issue.
Yeah.
Because I had the GSA ordered 40th anniversary and been waiting, and
yeah, for sure. They dropped
Ducati
the ball
came through with quite a nice bike, and I still can't buy a BMW.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we'll do a bit of on-bike footage, and we'll follow up with more videos as you put more miles on the bike.
Cool.
So just following Jerry on his brand new ride, his 2021 Ducati Multistrada V4S. Just picked it up on a Friday afternoon. Couldn't ride it yesterday, it's freezing cold, and it's freezing cold this morning. We actually had snow overnight, but temperatures up to the high 40s and the sun's come out and the sky's blue, so I thought we'd give it first impressions ride. Jerry has taken the first bike available in Georgia. He's the first owner in Georgia. I think most of the other bikes now that have arrived are sold, but he's got the very first one, and hopefully he remembers the way, which he does. And seems pretty happy with it so far. He's got the V4S, which has got all the nice stuff, the switch, you know, the quick shifter and heated seat, heated grips, all that good stuff, and panniers. He's got the Enduro pack on order, I believe, and the Active Cruise and Blind Spot is going to be a retro fit because the authorities haven't approved it for use in the US market yet. I believe it's already in use in Europe, so it'll probably just be a couple of months and they'll okay that, but it is going to be expensive to invoke that. We think it's going to be $850, so quite a lot, basically, but obviously we'll get that because it's a great safety feature. And he had to have a lowered GSA, it's just too tall for him, but he's managing on this. It's fairly similar height basically as his lowered GSA, just with the standard seat in the lower setting, and he's taken to it really well. I mean, he's such a GSA fanboy. I expected him to be bitching and moaning about it left, right and centre, to be honest with you, but he's enjoying it so far. Likes that nice smooth engine, plenty of grunt, loves the quick shifter, so much better than the BMW version, and the brakes on the way home we felt were a bit soft, but I mean they're Stylemma, so they're the best you can get at the moment, and when they're running, bedded in rather, you'll absolutely love those, and that's going to be a real weapon I think in the summer sunshine. It's a great looking bike, I must admit, and we mentioned there's a couple of things that can be improved. Every bike has something that can be improved, and I'm sure they will work on those things, but as adventure bikes go, particularly road orientated ones for this year, he's on the daddy. It don't get better. Make short work of those bends, that's for sure. Having to work GSA a little bit harder now on these chilly roads. Bearing in mind he's only got you know, about 45 miles on that bike at the moment. Looks pretty at home on it, doesn't he? I like the shape of the panniers. We just compared it with Eric's bike. He's got the older Multistrada with the older panniers, and they're very similar but actually a little bit squarer, so I think it'd be a little bit easier to put luggage into and stuff. It says it's comfortable standing up on the pegs like he is now, and the lights look nice when you ride in front of it. Those LEDs show up like kind of big eyebrows on the front of the bike, and it looks pretty cool. It's wearing Pirelli Scorpion tyres, and he says the feedback from those is pretty good. And I noticed on the launch it was kind of cold and damp, and all the journalists raved that they work pretty well and are a good match for the bike. And also you know, they moved from the 17-inch to a 19-inch front wheel this year, and Jerry's not even remarked upon that, so I think in essence it's
you know, when you test the bike and you forget to remark on its brakes or its suspension or, you know, its tyres or something, it's a good indication that that thing is right. So the geometry's not even been mentioned. We did hit some big bumps that you could really feel on the GSA, even with the telly lever, and he mentioned it was a very similar feel to the BMW. So I think the ride quality and comfort is there. In fact, comfort wise, he was amazed how good the comfort was. He said he could do, you know, 1,000 miles in a day on it. We have to bear in mind this is Jerry, and Jerry is comfortable doing several hundred miles in a day anyway, as a caveat. But he said, yeah, 1,000 miles a day. And I know that's greatly improved on my Ducati Street Fighter, for instance, with the big gel seat on that is standard, and everybody raves about its comfort. It's one thing that I think Ducati have worked on extremely hard the last year or two, and they've dramatically improved things. I like the way this Ducati steers. He says it's really good. This is a horrible tight, terrible camber bend, made light use work of that. The counter rotating crank really helps with the inertia in flicking the bike from side to side. It's something very noticeable on my Street Fighter, and obviously I've yet to ride Jerry's bike. He's practically yet to ride it really. We're just doing a sort of 100 mile plus shakedown test today, but he remarked upon it, you know, steers really easily and holds a true line, which is good. So anyway, that's initial impressions. So I'm going to sign off at this point and say ride often, ride carefully, ride on.
Hey you, if you want to become one of the Ride On people, don't forget to subscribe. Ride often, ride carefully, ride on.